thank you again for joining in. I do appreciate everybody here on Discord for joining in, and everyone in chat. Looking forward to watch, and everybody else here on Discord. So I will be jumping off. Everybody here should be joining Shooter McGavin on his live stream. I'm going to just grab a link, and we're going to post it here in the chat so everybody can jump over. Grabbing that just now.
All right.
There you go. There's the link to come and join myself and everyone else on Shooter McGavin's stream, which is the Late Night King, during this awesome Clash of Titans event. Thank you again for everybody joining in. Anybody else here on Discord want to say anything here at the very end?
Yeah, join my stream.
Yeah, that's right. Join Shooter McGavin's stream as well. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here, and for the non-toxic gamers, I am Salon, and for everyone else here in chat, we are signing.
All right.
We'll be working. I'll post another one.
Welcome, everybody, back to the kingdom with your host, the Late Night King. Today we are going to be going over the free-to-play analysis for this Clash of Titans event. Welcome, everybody. Armando, Bad Mother Trucker, Tagger, Joseph, Alex. I was going to start by quoting the numbers on your name, but that would have been kind of awkward. Alright, we're going to jump right into it. So, after having looked over this event, I'm going to tell all of you free-to-play players that ultimately this is not the event for you. Now, we're going to go over exactly why. I mean, it's got a lot of tokens, it's got a lot of relics, it's got a lot of... Oh, welcome to the stream, Azir. Charlie, good to have you. The problem with this event, guys, is that you are getting a Titan that has no chance at all of becoming a defensive Titan. So, first of all, I don't really look at Titans as the reason to do events, but the relics that he represents and the relics that he has do not represent defensive units right now. So if you already have your attacking Titan, this guy is essentially a pass for you. But we're going to go over each of... Welcome, Wrecking. We're going to go over each of the rewards in here. I'm going to explain to you what you need to look at to really maximize the use of your portal stones and your gems. For those of you new to my channel, I am a free-to-play player. You know, I don't go out and I don't buy gems, but I choose when and where to use my gems and how much I'm going to grind on individual events. This particular event, I am actually, despite it not being something that I would recommend the normal free-to-play player do, I am going to go through it. Because one, it's been a while since I've done a long event, and so I want to have a few live streams. And two, there are a few relics I have some interest in, but they are so far up that they are not worth grinding for unless, you know, you're bored and you just need something to do. Alright, so Mucus, I understand where you're coming from with this. When I think of an attacking Titan, I need Titans that are going to destroy high-level garrisons. In addition to that, I need them to be speed-focused. And so when I judge a Titan, I look at the speed and I look at how quickly it can take down a defense. Grenadiers are not known for their ability to quickly take down a defense. And while this will be a fun Titan to use, it's not going to break the meta. At least that's not how I see it. And even if it would break the meta, you'd have to have the right skill rolls. And this channel is all about the relics, because Titans come and go, but your relics, they are much more long-lasting. And so we're going to go and skip past all of this early stuff. Anything 3-star and less, it's not late-game material. And so as you get here, I mean, I'm happy to see there's 5 tokens by 9,000, but you get to your Frozen Rune here, and this Frozen Rune, to be honest with you, I'm going to pick this up and I will never level it. Because Titan and Army Ice damage and Titan Armor piercing and freeze spells, not really worth all of the relics to level it up. And yeah, it's pretty worthless. I'm glad that you guys see that as well. Theros, I don't have Theros yet, but even if I did get the perfect skill roll for him, he's not going to be a good Titan in the current meta. And so the only reason why I'm going to get him as a free-to-play player is for that event down the road where Theros is going to be one of the bonus Titans. Alright. To be honest with you, the best attacking Titans right now, remember, I've been gone about 2 months. Storm Maidens are obviously at the top of the table, but in late game, Archers still can be used pretty effectively. I can't tell you how many times I still bring my Siggy in the battle. But for speed rating at the highest level, Storm Maidens are where it's at right now. If you don't have Storm Maidens, you can still use Archers. As for events, I mean, I only use Panthers for the reason I'm going to show you guys tonight. Just because it's so easy to click and leave, basically. Now, going back to these relics. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there, Badmouth the Trucker. Those Titans are top of the game for the moment. But we've seen metas come and go in this game. Eventually, the game will balance itself out. I hope. So, this Dragon Helm. It is incredibly nice to have Titan resist. But at the end of the day, as you've heard me say in the past, the individual Titan can no longer compete against the large-scale troops. And so, if you're going to get this particular item, you're going to get it because you're low castle level and you have a champion or a paladin that you're just attacking with. Nothing more. But late in the game, it's just going to sit in your inventory being useless. Going forward, Ancestral Heart. This is that relic that is going to be able to fill out your Calvarax build. Or maybe be used for Almarin if you get it. But, once again, I look at these more as an enjoyment relic. If I'm going to use this relic, it's because I happen to have the Titan and I just want a change of gameplay. Joseph, your particular Solgar has mixed skills, and so late game, you're not going to be able to really compete with it. I would still save him, though, if you don't have another Solgar, so you can use them for any events as the bonus Titan. Alright. Korthan, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Paladins used to, be the dominant force in this game, but as of right now, they're on the back burner. This Titan, it won't be worth leveling for you. Just going to sit in your inventory once again. Divine Gems are nice. Tainted Heart right here. I'm going to tell you guys now that Tainted Heart is one of the best relics in this entire setup because it gives both Grenadiers critical and Grenadiers armor piercing. With all of the X skills that are out there, that critical is hard to come by for Grenadiers. I understand, Clint. I stopped playing for a bit as well. You gotta take a break when you need to take a break. Cursed Mask. I'm going to tell you guys now, this relic is amazing, alright? The only issue that comes up with it is that you can only use it with skeletons. And it makes your skeletons super strong. And it's going to make it really awesome to attack people with these, because your skeletons are going to be just a meat shield that can't be taken down. But when you're done with Almiran, he's just going to sit in your inventory. He's not even going to be a good defender. People are just going to roll over him every time they see him. And so my thought philosophy is that you're going to get, as a free-to-play player, 2 or 3 attacking titans that just give you a varying elements and attacking styles, and then the rest of the titans that you need to be picking up are defensive titans. That's going to give you your best bet in the late game. And so while this mask is amazing, it supports a unit that is not going to be good for defensive. And so when you're not playing Almirand or Calvarax, this relic won't be used. Okay, YouTube Wrecking Nomad asks, how good is Basathi with Panther damage, health, critical, health, and damage? To be honest with you, I would say that, Panther damage is, I would rate that skill as of the damage skills Panther gets, as the second best damage Panther skill. The best damage, or the best skill that Panthers can have, and Basathi can give you, is absolutely charge damage. Because that charge damage allows you to finish battles a lot quicker, as opposed to the Panther damage, which is just the generic auto attack. I would much rather have the 2 healths that you have on that Basathi than any armor. So I think you lucked out for that. Critical and damage. I'd say your Basathi is decent enough to get the job done. Not going to be a late game attacker, but can absolutely be an event grinder. Welcome, Josh. Alright, so going on to the Doom Pauldrons. Skeleton health and skeleton damage. With however good I say Cursed Mask is, Doom Pauldrons is worse than that. And so it's limited use, and this would be maybe the 4th relic or 5th relic that you put on any Titan, so it's not even going to be your priority relic. This will sit in your inventory, it will just take up space. Unfortunately, that's just the way some of these events are. Now, overall, there is some value in this event, but it's not worth the gems and the time investment that you're actually going to be putting into it. That is my 2 cents on this particular subject. Now give me a moment. I have some notes I want to go over with you guys. These notes... Oh, and give me another second, because I think I am going to hop over to my channel and send a Discord link out for anyone that'd like to join me. Let's see. Alright. Let's go over here. Clint, I would say new players that are free to play, your stopping point in this event, I'd say you should be pretty happy if you get to 2250. Get yourself 3 of those frost tokens and the divine gems, and you'll be good. If you want to grind a little harder, getting to 4,000, not bad. But you should definitely stop at 4,000, because you're going to have to spend too many gems to go further up. Now, I put out a Discord link. If any of you have some comments you'd like to join, I do keep an open forum here. Alright, so I have a breakdown I want to give you guys in this particular video. And this is going to be a sneak peek at what the late game actually looks like for a Dawn of Titans player. You are going to notice, I'm going to give you a few stats first before I start going over some of my Titans here. Alright, so for in-game, your Titans that you get to level 60, you're going to need, for defensive Titans, 2 to 3 defensive Titans that you can rotate on your garrison when you're at war at the highest levels in Legend League. You don't want to have just one defensive Titan, and all of them need to be unique in how they defend. So if you're at war, you can get more greens and stall more often as you're gaining VP. I've had some videos in the past that talk a little bit more about that, so I'll reference those to you. Now, with those particular Titans, you need 6 to 10 relics per Titan. That way you can rotate the relics on your particular Titans, once again, to throw off attackers. Now, beyond that, you're going to need at least 6 relics for every level 60 Titan you have if they're going to be on defense for your islands. G. Radcliffe, welcome in. Welcome. Now, furthermore, you're going to need at least 4 relics for event grinding that you can just plug and play to event Titans. And then finally, you're going to need, I'd say, about 15 to 20 relics for grinding during the week. And I say 15 to 20 because you're going to need specific relics for each element type as you're leveling up that particular troop and you're attacking the islands. And so overall, in-game, if you can get to roughly 200 relics that are fully leveled, you will have what you need to be interchanged with your Titans moving forward. And I'm basing this off of having 20 lands at in-game. So I'm going to go over some of my Titans so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Some of my level 60s. And I'm going to show you the issue that you run into in the late game. You'll see I have a lot of 40s. I get my Titans to level 40 whenever I can, because if it ever comes to the Titan Monument, I want to make sure that I can collect the specialty relics in there that are worth collecting. Alright, so here I have Italis. You'll see I have 6 relics here for him, and they're all leveled. Now, I'm going to keep going through these Titans and show you the issue that I'm currently running into that you need to be aware of. I have my Mamesh here. 6 relics, all fully leveled. I'm concentrating on damage for my Grenadiers and a few Panthers that are going to be able to take some punishment because I got health and armor. That's a great point, Azir. Alright, having the same type really helps out. Alright, so I have Mamesh, Italis going forward. I've got a Matano. Once again, those of you who've been fans of my channel know I am a huge fan of the orbs. I got 4 of them equipped to this particular one. Her defensive capabilities are amazing. Alright, so I've got my, level 50s as well. People that I'm currently leveling up. Got my Siegfried. Siegfried with 6 relics that are fully leveled. Now, I've reached the point finally, and so I'm just showing you this to show you that you're going to get these Titans, and you're going to level relics for them. But as you look at my level 40 Titans, you're going to see that I don't have any relics set up for them right now. My level 60s, I'm decked out with. But I cannot keep up the rate of supplying relics to my level 60 Titans at the rate that the game currently gives the forging mechanism. And so there's going to come a point when I have level 60 Titans and I don't have full builds for them. And so when you're thinking about, wow, that next Titan is coming out and I really need to get it, understand that Titans are not the end game in this game. It is really the relics. Alright? You level the relics to match the defensive units that you're going to get. And so these relics that are unique to Titans and unique to attack styles are pretty garbage in my opinion, because while they're good today and maybe tomorrow, when that meta leaves, you've just spent countless food leveling up your Titan and your relics that you're likely never to see again, because the meta's going just to push them aside for good. And while Calvarax, for example, is still a decent Titan to attack with, he is in no way a top tier Titan anymore. So those that invested heavily, their reward came with the immediate gratification as opposed to long-term ability to stay in this game. And as a free-to-play player, it is the long term that you're investing in. And so, as you see, I have a lot of Titans, but I'm going to tell you now, even some of the level 40 ones I have are garbage. Their skills are terrible. I only keep them around, so when events come by, it costs me less gems to do them, as I use the priority Titan for that particular event. Alright. Oh, wait. I realized I didn't even... In Discord, I didn't even jump in my own channel. That's crazy. Okay, so that's just an insight for those of you who are maybe new or even in-game. It's nice to hear someone talk about the problems that you run into in-game. And so, to give you an idea, Titans that I am using currently and leveling up are this particular Siegfried. The Siegfried has the perfect skill roll for Siegfrieds. But I don't have the relics to keep him up and running right now, because my Archer relics are currently being used by my Odin, my other Siegfried. I am going to be working on Talland as well, so I am backed up for ages with Archer relics. I still got to get them up and running, even though the skills I have on these Titans are amazing. That's absolutely right, Azir. Leveling up Titans to max out VP production is pretty important, especially in the end game. But once you get to a certain point, you're going to have enough Titans that max out VP production. And so I have my Krothos here. He maxes VP production. And a myriad of other ones. And I really do rely on my troops during the end game. So, with that said, oh, go ahead.
Shooter, I just want to say real quick, one thing to stress for a lot of people that may be viewing your channel for the first time is making sure you find yourself the right alliance to play with is also incredibly important as a free-to-play player. Not every one of these 4-star Titans that you get without the help of Alliance events.
That is a great point, Zalon. And when you guys see my collection here, understand that a lot of these Titans I got from non-toxic. I put in my minimums, and some events I carried other people in the event by grinding it out completely to get the Titan. And so this looks like a large collection. And, it is a fairly large collection. Know that about 80% of these Titans are useless, though. And so it looks like, a great Titan collection, but at the end of the day, how many of them am I willing to level to the max level depends on what their skills are. And so I rely on the long term, and without a good alliance, it's just going to take you a lot longer to get there. So find a good one. If you like the community of non-toxic, we are always bringing on new people. All right? I'll be an advocate for them since they've helped me get to where I am. But if non-toxic is not where you want to be, make sure that your alliance is competitive enough to get into that top 50 range, and you're likely to get a good Titan eventually in regards to the role that you'll get. But as always on this particular channel, I'm going to let you know I focus heavily on the relics that are available, because the relics can make all of the difference in the world.
Yeah, because when meta changes, you can always change the Titan, but if the relics are already leveled up, they're ready to go.
That's exactly right. They're easily interchangeable. And to give you an idea of what... Someone captured my undefended land? That is just dirty. Alright, so as you can see here, currently I have Siegfried guarding my base. And as a free-to-play player, most people find it astonishing that I have a 9.8 million defense. So, let's break down how that 9.8 million defense came about. One, I got myself that Earth Shaker and it's fully leveled up. Understand whenever you are defending a land or your garrison that these relics that boost all of the troops artificially increase the number significantly. 3-star relics, I do have some 3-star relics, but they are troop-specific relics. For example, this Siegfried has got a 3-star Gilded Arc. Sometimes there's a need for them, but they're few and far between. 4 stars will always take precedence. If they came out with another relic that boosts archers significantly more than this 3-star relic, rest assured, I would be looking at it. To give you an idea what this makes my archers look like, you'll see that my archers are sitting with a 216% armor piercing and then 57% critical chance. And they do 35,000 damage. So that critical strike, I'm hitting for 100,000 damage. And if they have, 200 armor, who cares? My archers are just going to mow them down. And, to be frank, with the rise of Storm Maidens mean nothing to archers. Archers will mow them down if they're equipped right. And so, while I do believe Storm Maidens to be the superior unit now, I'm fine with having my archers because I didn't need to spend any money to upgrade Storm Maidens, and my relics make my archers more than relevant. Alright, so let's go through and see what other Titans would look like. So now you've seen my attacking defense. And the reason I do that, and those that are higher level will back me up on this, is that when you have a defense that is over 4 or 5 million, by default, most normal people will absolutely just avoid it because they don't want to take a chance that they're going to lose. Now, where that number means nothing is whenever you're in the upper echelon of Legends League. Alright? I could care less, I can tell you now, when I'm in a war, if someone has a 15 million defense, because there are ways to get around it. And so, in that upper echelon, your best bet for unit defense is not that high attacking unit. It's absolutely the traditional Guardians. And so, with these traditional Guardians, I have my Panther unit here. And this is not the ideal defense for a Panther, obviously. I don't have hardly any armor piercing, or critical chance, but I'm rocking, maxed out resistances on basically 4 elements with resistances on the other elements. And that's with subpar relics at times. And so I get a lot of greens on this one whenever I'm attacked by frost, poison, fire, or physical. She's not a premier defender for me right now because obviously I'm not rocking enough lightning resist, so these things are melted by Storm Maidens. Alright, so going on to another Titan. And that's the benefit of those orbs I'm talking about. Those orbs are amazing. So, coming over to my Goliaths, I only have 90% armor. I am rocking physical resist maxed, frost resist maxed, basically fire, and some good resistances otherwise. And this Titan isn't amazing because I have 2 skills that are armor and health. And so, with that said, I make do with him. He was my first Guardian, so I had to level him up. I'm very happy with the results I get because I get a lot of greens with him. So the purpose behind this is to show you in the late game, 2 or 3 attacking Titans is all that you need. Load up on the defensive Titans. That is where your real power is going to be. Alright, so that is my lecture in this particular video. I'm going to go ahead and hop over and do a few battles so you can see exactly what type of relics I'm using to do my speed rating, thus increasing my efficiency within each of these battles. Shout out to Non-Toxic Warhammer, or Hammer right now, for providing these lands for me to raid. Alright, so I'm going to switch Titans, and I'm going to go to my Titan for the event, Korthan. Here we go. You'll see.
What is your goal in this event, Shooter?
I am really considering finishing it just with a lot of grinding so I can do a lot of videos for it. But if I don't have the time, I don't have the time, and I will have already passed my goal. Because honestly, this event does not excite me. Oh. Alright, so let me show you what relics I'm using for my Korthan, and what relics you could be using. So, first relic I'm using is Venom Seed. And I use this particularly for speed rating because those poison spells drop at least 4 to 5 seconds off of each raid that I do. And so I never have to replace them. This is just a speed rating tool. It doesn't matter what event is happening. I'm going to throw Venom Seed on the Titan because I use Panthers to attack, and those poison spells clear out those long-range troops that I don't want to send my troops to because it takes too long. Second relic I use. Not everyone's going to have one of these, but I used the Divine Touch, the Paladin 5-star. It gives me my troop damage and troop health, as well as resistance to range. This is just a Titan specific or item that'll work really well. If you don't have that, use the 4-star Bitter Dirk and the 4-star Mounted Armor. What you're looking for is just relics that will keep your troops alive. In my case, the health from this and the health from Venom Seed are my defensive defensive abilities that I get from these relics. And so to show you what it looks like in battle, we're going in like this. Alright. Keep him paused. Throw a Venom Seed there, another one here. And there we go. It is really about saving yourself time. And I don't think there's a unit better than Panthers to save time and attack. And it's not like these units are weak. They're still level 20 units that I'm attacking into. Just got to make sure my Titan doesn't end up attacking Panthers because... Alright. He won't kill them fast enough. So, if I had a level 1 Titan, the relic I would use is the Venom Seed. Because I'm still getting defensive health, and I'm getting those poison clouds. And as a result, I put priority on leveling up my poison clouds because I have free spells that increase the speed at which I raid. So this is how I save time, and by saving time, I can save gems. Because I never use gems to buy the relics needed to do these events. I store relics from events that I pass on. I'll show you how many I have stored as soon as I'm out of gems, or out of portal stones. And I know I probably should have saved some of these explanations for a unique video in and of itself rather than a grind video. But, hey, I can always come up with content on this game. And, yeah, I'm not a YouTuber that's going to really look at too much of monetizing my channel. I'm just doing this because I enjoy the game, and those of you who are like me out there, it's just nice to have another person confirm your ideas and your opinions. So that's what my channel is really going to be about for you. Those of you who are longtime fans, you know that's exactly how I treat all of these events. And while I've recently gotten a promotion at work, you know, my identity is a free-to-play player. I'm not going to change that. I thought about it for a little bit with less time, but I'll just do less events and just keep that. Because one, I don't like spending money on games, and two, you know, by this point, it's almost an art form that you come up with as a free-to-play player to make sure you can stay somewhat competitive.
But you're spending the time, though. You gotta spend the time.
Yeah, you're either spending time or you're spending money. I'm spending time, which is probably a stupid decision, but it's my stupid decision, and I'm gonna own it. All right, so. Those of you
it also depends if you can play at work. Some people can play at work, which is very fortunate.
Yeah, I used to be able to play at work, but not anymore. That's why I dropped out a little while. I gotta tell you, I like my new job, Zalon. It is a blast.
Well, that's good, though. That's really good on the personal side. So when it comes down to being able to play the game, when you do have the time, it makes it all the better. I'll be honest with you, when you were able to take the break there, and this isn't the first time you've taken a break.
Not at all.
Since Global Launch, when you started playing, Castle 24 as a free-to-play player and have taken 2 major breaks. When I say major, I mean more than a month, more than 30 days away from the game. That's very impressive.
It's true. Azir, you make a good comment. When you have lower level troops, having that champion Titan to go around and take out these lands is just cost efficient. When your troops get higher level, utilizing them in this manner is just smart. Because remember that the key to the relics and the key to the late game is that while you may have six amazing relics on an amazing champion Titan or amazing solo Titan like an infiltrator, in the late game it is literally that one Titan versus 20 troops that someone has that are all buffed by similar relics. And so it's just more cost efficient to buff troops over buffing Titans, and more time efficient to level those individual relics. And so on my channel, you will see me prioritizing certain relics. And for those of you who are interested to know how many level 5 and 4 relics I've got leveled up, I'm happy to say that I am approaching the 60 mark for relics. And you'll see I prioritize specific relics that buff all troops or specific unit types. And that's because they're going to be viable in the future. I've got my Bow of Kings that I have here. I've got my Bracers of Wrath. Nice little relic that you pick up from the Titan Arena area. And there you go. You'll see my collection of Dragon Helms. Enough drops for eternity, it feels like. With all of them being physical or poison. Bunch of Earth Casks. End of the day, I mean, here's a relic that I leveled up at the beginning of my time playing that I will probably never use again, because it's pretty garbage now. The Fire Ruby. As you go through, eventually, this is what your relic inventory will look like. And I also have my specialty relics, guys. I plan on coming out with my next Relics Revealed video soon. That is a series that I have on my channel that covers relics that are either OP now or have the potential to be OP. And Gungnir and Head of Mimir are 2 of them. You'll see I've already leveled them all the way up, so when that next relic drops that I can work in combination with them, it'll literally be a day or so before I can make one of my Titans completely immune to a physical or ranged attacks. And so yeah, really fun. There's one more area I want to show you, and that is my orb collection, because I am very proud of it. Here we have all my orbs. All of them have been maxed out. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. 11 orbs. And that's not all of them that were released. That's all of them I was able to pick up as a free-to-play player. You'll notice as I looked at my Titans that I have 4 of them on each of my major Guardian Titans. That's how I got my defensive stats so high. But that is a breakdown of my 4-star relics. Clint, no. Do not spend any gems on that casino to try to get a Titan. Because one, even if you get the best Titan out there, you have to level it. It's going to take time. You have to level the relics for them. And by the time that's done, unless you're paying to do it, they're going to be out of date. They're going to be on to the next meta. And so, if I were to roll at a casino, I'd rather roll to get a decent relic. But I wouldn't even roll to get the relic because it is more cost efficient to wait to events for relics that you need and then go ham in attacks to get there. And I think I made a promise in this stream. All right.
So, in your free-to-play time that you've had, I noticed you have the 5-star Paladin relic. What other 5 stars do you have?
Oh, I've got 3 5-star relics. It is the Paladin, the Guardian, and the Champion. So, I've got all of them leveled up, and they're being used by individual Titans. My Dragon Slayer is being used by Valkyrie. Earthshaker is being used by Siegfried, and Divine Touch I'm using now with Korthan.
And are you saving up? You save up to 5K?
Yes, I save up to 5K to get each. I'm not going to gamble because you don't get a lot of Divine Gems as a free-to-play player. So when I get a 4-star relic, I go for the guaranteed one.
Oh, and you're going to pull your 4-star Titan tonight.
Yep,
Stream, right?
I'm going to pull it right now. So those of you who have been waiting, congratulations. You'll also see that I have 24 event relics stored up for when I need to use them. So here we go. Live to see whatever 4-star Titan I get.
Make sure to smash like for the Late Night King.
Here we go. Malkor, alright. That is pretty good. Let's check the skills.
Now, do you have Malkor?
No, that's why I like it, because it's another unique Titan. Regardless of his skills, it's not likely I level him up, because I think he is a Grenadier Titan, right? Yeah, he's like the Krothos, except for the fire version. Let's see, Grenadier damage, Grenadier armor piercing, Imperial damage, and Imperial. Okay, so he's all attack. So yeah, there's not a chance in heck I'm leveling him up. But, and then when there's an event that comes around, that he's going to be the Titan that is going to be the bonus Titan, rest assured, I'm going to throw Venom Seed on him and make that event easier for myself. Now, how I use my Titan tokens that I get from events, you'll see I have 1 saved up here, regular one, and 3 epics. I will wait specifically for when the Guardian event happens, and I may have 8 or 9 tokens that I will use all at once, in the hope that I get that level, or that 4-star Guardian with good skills. And so I minimize my risk. I'm not going to try to get that newest Infiltrator. I'm not going to try to get the newest Champion. What I want are the defensive Titans, because the defensive Titans, with a good skill, are always worth leveling up and are going to last, and have lasted in their effectiveness throughout this entire game. And so there's a strategy for everything that I do as a free-to-play player. I would encourage all of you other free-to-play players that you have your own strategy. What is the priority that you're going to put in this game? Is it going to be on relics? Is it going to be on specific Titans? If so, craft your strategies on how you're going to get them effectively, so you're not wasting gems on events that don't matter to you. And that's a little hypocritical of me right now, because this event really doesn't matter to me. What I really want to do, though, is put together some videos for you guys to watch on your downtime, because I know as a new player, having APOC stream was a big boon for keeping me in this game. And, let's face it, the community is why we really play this game. You're all in this particular stream right now because you enjoy this particular part of the community. And so we recognize that as YouTubers. That's why we make the content. Because I guarantee even those that are fully monetized don't make enough to make it worth it to do this.
Not at all.
Yeah. So we care about you guys. However sappy that sounds, that's why we do what we do.
Most definitely.
Alright. Man, I have got a lot of grinding to do if I plan on getting anywhere near this. Oh, and by the way, y'all, if you have Korthan in this event, you know, roughly speaking, you're going to spend 18 to 20,000 gems to complete this event in complete grind. And that's 18 to 20,000 from where you currently start. Because I'm countering in the fact that you're going to use all the gems that you pick up in this event. And that's if you decide to do it without using any of the relic tokens. Let's see. Pay-to-win players and players don't prioritize paladins anymore. Azure?
They start to. I don't know. More and more paladins are going to keep on popping out.
My thought on the paladins right now is, unless a massive buff happens to them, there's no way that they're going to be able to compete with high-level units. I mean, it's just, they used to be the premier unit back when there weren't a lot of relics and when everyone was lower level, because you couldn't kill them. Now that there's so many people that are max level with max level units and max relics, they are just ran over. I don't care if you get 90% resistance on every element. All you're doing is slowing down the inevitable with a paladin. So, it's a nice concept, but I would not invest a lot of resources into leveling one now. Currently speaking, focus on units that you can get huge attack powers with, as well as defensive stats with. So, Guardians, and for my attackers, my general attackers that I use, I have my speed attacker, which I use just to reduce damage taken. Oh, I should probably use my Venom Seed. And so right now, that particular speed attacker that I'm getting experience with is Meiku, because I have 2 defensive skills for my Panthers, and then I have a bunch of offensive relics I use for my Panthers. And so I just run over all the generic defensive lands. When I'm attacking castles, I use Odin, I use Siegfried, and I use Mamesh. And so when I'm going against the highest level guys, I break out my level 60s at times. Whenever I'm not at war, I don't. Just because every attack is experience. But I have a very methodical way of playing the game to make sure that I can stay somewhat relevant even at the highest levels. And I got to tell you, other people are really intimidated by League of God, and while I respect them, there is not a garrison I can't take down. I love taking down Dromediddle's garrison in League of Gods every time I get a chance, just because he ditched non-toxic and he deserves it. But yeah, with the right spells, I made videos in the past where I had level 19 archers with Siegfrieds running over top level garrisons. And so while I may not be able to speed raid as quickly as them, I can throw a few punches of my own as a free-to-play player. I can get my licks in before, when all is said and done. And for me, that's enough. And by the way, Azulon, I'm happy that you're finally leveling up at a quicker speed. There's a while there that you just sort of like tapered off.
Oh, well, I chilled out at 21 there for a little while, but everything with my troops right now is up to speed. And all had to do with the fact that when you added in the extra storm, maybe it slowed everything down a little bit there for a little bit.
Joseph, the new Talon and Siggy right now, they are good in the sense that if you're just gathering resources or you're in a low-level war, they will stave off all but the crazy attackers. But I'm going to tell you now, if you're in Legend League or even in, Champion League underneath that, and you're in one of the top alliances, all that they're going to do is bring in units that they can just drop on top of your archers and your Titan, and they'll just mow them down. That number that you have for defense is just designed to keep people that aren't willing to invest the time and the relics needed to create good attackers. Ultimately, your Guardians are your best defensive measure against the highest level players. Right now I have Siggy in rotation because if I'm not at war, people just aren't willing to take the losses going against archers that can one-shot them. Does that answer your question?
Are you still raiding?
Oh yeah, I am. Valorant.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
No, I just looked up at my TV. I'm like, he's just sitting there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to answer some questions, and I could be raiding. I should be raiding at the same time. Yeah, so from what I found out about Valorant, it was dropped while I was gone, and I made the prediction 4 or 5 months ago that Spearmen were going to be the best defensive unit in the game. And they were very strong back then, but when they released Valorant, and I think he's the Spearman guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zolan.
Oh, are you talking about Valorn, the Spearman?
Yeah. He is the premier defensive Titan right now. He is top of the meta.
Yeah,
and
I'd say so. There still is other Titans that people will switch out, but Valorn, it seems to be the most popular on defense.
That's right. And that's currently, when Spearmen do not become the... I'm curious now on how Goliath will stack up against them when fully suited out. I still think Spearmen have certain advantages, but I was happy to see the buffs to the Goliaths that just recently came out, because they were the original unit that everyone hated attacking when the game started. If they had a defensive Goliaths, there was videos made about how people were able to actually beat Goliath defenses, and those were amazing videos back then. They've redone Avalos already. So, you'll notice that good Guardians, they won't have very many events that really promote those. Because, good Guardians change the nature of the meta on their own. At least the meta at the highest levels. And keep in mind, when I look at events and I judge whether or not to get them, I look specifically for 1, unique relics that have the ability to break the game, and 2, core relics for defensive builds. A core relic for, let's say, a unit like Goliath's would be that Heartstone that came out with Grolgar. That relic alone would have been worth doing that event. I didn't have the time to complete it, and I regret that to some extent, but it's relics like that that are going to stand the test of time in this game. 5-star relics are going to be relevant too, but that avalanche or that volcano vein that you see in that you're like, ooh, that's really nice. No, those things are not nearly as powerful as the relics that will stand the test of time. So keep that in mind as you're determining for yourself as a free-to-play player where to spend your gems as well as your time. Because that's all you have to spend in this particular game, and you need to make sure they're spent in the right places if you're going to have any enjoyment as a free-to-play player. Because let's face it, we are free-to-play players in a pay-to-win game. But that doesn't mean that we can't have the impact, an impact on the game with our own choices. I need to come out with another relic forging video, because that's actually what my channel started around, was my relic forging concept. Let's see. Okay, guys. I am coming to the end of my video right now. I've got to take care of a few things before I go to bed tonight, and I have some hardcore grinding to do. I will try to release another video or another stream tomorrow night, so those of you that are grinding this with me won't have to grind alone. But thank you, all of you, for coming over and watching tonight. I am happy to be back in the scene. Leave comments and continue to check out and support the channel as you see fit, because ultimately this is being done for you guys anyway. Thanks for your time, and thank you for visiting the kingdom. This is the Late Night King signing off.